When kids are upset, many say they don't want advice or reassurance from their parents. They just want to be heard. They want someone to listen to their problems. That is a key takeaway from a new survey out this week. The Walton Family Foundation-Gallup conducted the research, which looks at how Gen Zers deal with different emotions and feelings. Lisa Damour joins us now. She's a psychologist and author of The Emotional Lives of Teenagers. She also partnered with the groups on this new study. Good to have you with us. So first of all, explain how this survey was conducted and why you wanted to do it now. What was the motivation behind the research?
Yes, thank you for having me. So in March of this year, we surveyed almost 1,700 young people between the ages of 10 and 18 and their parents and caregivers about the emotional lives of those young people. And we did it in part because teenagers are so much in the news and so much in the headlines, and we have so many concerns right now about their mental health that we wanted to hear directly from young people about how they're feeling and how adults can best support them.
So the survey found most kids are happy. That is good news. But many also feel stressed. They feel anxious. How do kids say they typically cope with those feelings?
So we did find very high levels of happiness. 94% of the kids who were surveyed said they felt a lot of happiness on the previous day. And the next highest number in terms of uncomfortable feelings was 45% saying they feel stressed. So there's a lot more happiness than we've been talking about. And in terms of coping, kids told us really interesting things. Their number one strategy for when they are upset is actually listening to music. And I'm a clinician. I wasn't altogether surprised to hear this. I hear all the time from teenagers about how they have playlists, many of them with feelings names attached, and they go listen to those playlists when they're upset. And it effectively helps them kind of have a cathartic experience and move through and feel better. They also like to play video games. They'll often use that as a brief distraction. That's an ideal way to use one to move through a feeling. They like to talk to their friends. They do like to talk about their feelings. Surprisingly low on the list in terms of what teenagers said helped them feel better was going on social media. Only 20% of teenagers said that. And I think that reveals a lot of insight in young people about the fact that going on social media is probably not a reliable way to feel better if they're already feeling kind of crummy.
Yeah, that can ramp up your stress and anxiety in some situations. So when we talk about stress for kids, what are the most common causes?
So when we asked young people about what they were feeling stress about, 2/3 of them told us that they worry about what the world will be like when they are adults. We also had 39% of them say that they see things online that makes them uncomfortable. And about 1/3 of them told us that they feel like they've got to be perfect.
What did you hear from parents? What are the biggest challenges they're facing when they're trying to actually support their kids who are having all these feelings?
So what we heard is that most parents feel like they are able to communicate effectively with their tweens and teens and to comfort their tweens and teens when they're upset. An interesting finding was that parents of younger kids, 10 to 12-year-olds, reported experiencing their teenagers' emotions as more intense than parents of older kids did. And I think a lot of people feel like it's not till you have a teenager, 13 and above, that feelings become very powerful. But this actually maps on to what we know from the scientific side, which is that adolescence is usually underway by 10 or 11, and feelings can take on a whole new potency around that time.
We have like 20 seconds left here, but do you have any tips or your best tip or advice for parents on how to communicate with or just comfort their kids?
Well, what the kids told us is they want us to listen to them. They want us to take their feelings seriously. They sometimes want space. They sometimes want a hug.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily want advice. And I will tell you, as a mom and a clinician, my number one line in caring for teenagers in my house is, what can I do that won't make things feel worse?
Lisa Damour, thank you so much. You're watching NBC News Daily.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.